start this class in a seated position. So if you want to start on some height, maybe a block, pillow or bolster, that might help, especially if you feel any kind of pain in the knees or the hips. And we're just gonna breathe a little bit together here. So hands on the knees, palms facing up, and just be really strong in your core and lift through the crown of your head. And now we're just gonna breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. On your inhale, you're bringing in as much air and oxygen as you can. On your exhale, you're just kind of relaxing and allowing the air to just kind of fall out, not forcing it out in any way. We'll just do a few rounds of deep breathing here. So inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Keep the shoulders relaxed. Keep reaching lively through the crown of your head. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. One more time, deep inhale. And exhale. And we're just going to circle the neck out. So keep your core strong and active, a nice strong posture, and just pick one direction and make as big of a circle as you can. And then we'll reverse. And then we'll come back to neutral here, and we'll shrug our shoulders a few times. So inhale, lift the shoulders up towards your ears. Exhale, roll down the back. Inhale, lift. Exhale, roll down the back. Follow your own rhythm here, do a couple more. And then we'll bring our hands back to heart center here. Now we're just going to move with our hands, move with our arms. Inhale, arms straight overhead. Wrists over shoulders, look up to see your hands. Exhale, hands back down. See how much extension you can get. So reach as high as you can. Inhale, reach. Look up, exhale, back down. Inhale, reach. Exhale, back down. Inhale, reach. Exhale, back down. This time we're going to inhale, reach. And then we're going to twist to our right. Sit up tall, look over your right shoulder. The left hand comes to the outside of the right knee here for a little bit of leverage, and maybe that'll help you twist a little deeper into the pose. Make sure you're sitting up tall through the crown of your head. Take a deep inhale. And exhale. And we'll inhale, arms back overhead. Exhale, twist in the opposite direction. Sit up tall, look over your left shoulder. Now the right hand comes to the outside of the left knee. Again, sit up tall. We'll take a deep inhale. And exhale. And we'll reach our arms back overhead. Exhale your hands down to heart center. And we'll lower the right hand out to your side. Reach that arm over, the left arm overhead for a nice side stretch. And then we'll just switch sides. Left arm comes out, right arm overhead. And then we'll come back to center. And now we're just going to lie down on our back. So point your toes and reach through your fingertips overhead. Full body stretch here. Reach lively in both directions. Deep inhale. Exhale, relax. And just try to completely relax. We're going to do that again and see if you can reach in both directions even a little further, even a millimeter will help here. So inhale, reach. Exhale, relax. We're going to bend our knees. We're just going to hug both knees into our chest. Reach through the crown of your head and just try to press the lower, mid, and upper back into the mat and work on bringing the knees and the thighs into your chest and stomach. Now we'll just rock a little side to side across our lower back. We'll come back to neutral. We're going to kick the left leg out onto the mat. Keep the left leg strong. It's going to rest on the mat, but you're going to be active in the left quad. Both feet are flexed, so your toes are pointing towards the ceiling. And now we're going to work the right knee towards the right armpit. And we're going to circle this right knee out. Right hand on the knee, just make as big of a circle as you can. And then reverse. And we'll come back to neutral now. We're going to kick the right heel towards the ceiling. Your hands can come behind the right leg for some support, or this might be a good time to use a strap if you have one. But make sure your shoulders are relaxed, your head is relaxed on the mat. Now your knee may be bent here, or it may be at an angle depending on how tight hamstrings are. It's all good. Just try to straighten it out the best you can. And the most important thing we're looking for is that we're feeling a stretch in the back of the right leg. So everybody's going to have a little different look here. Just try to work on straightening the right leg out. See if you can keep your jaw relaxed while you get this nice stretch. And we'll bend the right knee, hug the right knee back in, and then just extend the right leg out onto the mat, and we'll hug the left knee in. So same story on this side. Right leg is still strong and active even though it is resting on the mat. Toes pointing towards the ceiling for both feet. Hug the left knee in towards the left armpit. And then we'll circle this left knee out with the left hand. So just working on range of motion in the left hip. Make as big of a circle as you can. And then we'll reverse. And then we'll come back to neutral. And now kick the left heel towards the ceiling. Again, either a strap or your hands can come around the back of your left leg for some support here. Just make sure your shoulders are relaxed, your head is resting on the mat, or maybe you have a pillow or a block you can rest your head on if you can't quite get it down to the mat. And just work on feeling a nice stretch here in the back of the leg. Relax the jaw and try to relax your face as much as possible. We're just trying to not carry any tension in the rest of the body while we actively release tension in the back of the left leg. And then we're just going to bend this left knee, hug that left knee back in. And we'll hug both knees back in here. We're going to move with our breath a little bit here. We're going to kick both heels towards the ceiling, reach arms overhead. So you're trying to turn yourself into this L shape. Just do the best you can here, core strong. Exhale, round back in. Inhale, kick and reach. Exhale, round back in. Inhale, kick and reach. Exhale, round back in. Inhale, kick and reach. Exhale, round back in. We're just going to roll onto our side here and just make our way into all fours. So shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. We'll move through cat and cow pose. So on your inhale, look up. Exhale, round in. And just follow your own breath here. On your cow, you're looking up as high as you can, and you're lifting your sits bones as high as you can. On the cat pose, it's the opposite, lifting the back as high as you can and bringing the chin towards the chest, rounding. Just working on range of motion in the spine here. And try to sync up with your breath and maybe consciously try to slow down a little bit here. We're not in a hurry moving in between these two poses. And then eventually we'll come back to neutral. We're going to bring our big toes to a touch at the back of the mat. And you might be able to look in between your legs and see your big toes touching. And then you can bring your knees wide and guide the hips back as far as you can. Now use your hands here to press into the mat and press your hips back as far as you can. Then rest the forehead on the mat and try to keep the hips as far back as you can, but reach through the fingertips in the opposite direction towards the top of the mat. This is a very active child's pose here. We're trying to get as much length as we can from the tailbone through the crown of the head. And now take a deep inhale. And exhale. Now we're just going to rock the hips a little side to side here. And you can maybe just roll across your forehead a little bit as you do that. Further waking up the hips. And we'll look up to see our hands. Now see if you can work your chest towards the mat and your chin. Reach further through your fingertips. Keep guiding the hips back. Take another deep inhale here. And exhale. Now we're going to slide through onto our stomach. Zip up the legs, hugging the elbows. Inhale, cobra pose. Exhale, back down. In cobra pose, we're grounding the hips and you're grounding the tops of your feet. So legs are strong. Maybe you can lift your kneecaps off the mat. We'll do another round of cobra here. Inhale, lift. Exhale, back down. One more time, inhale, lift. Exhale, back down. Flip the toes. We're gonna press up into plank pose. The legs are strong in your plank, core is strong. And now from here, we're gonna lift our hips and press back into a down dog. So first down dog of the class here. Might feel good to bend, maybe one knee a little more than the other and straighten the other one, so just kind of pedal the legs out back and forth. Also might feel good to just shake the head out a little bit, maybe rock the hips a little side to side. Just kind of waking up the hamstrings into all fours. Down into all fours. Move back through cat and cow. Inhale, look up. Exhale, round in. Inhale, look up. Exhale, round in. And we'll come back to neutral. Toes touching, knees wide, guide the hips back, back into your child's pose. Reach through your fingertips. And look up to see your hands slide through onto your stomach. Zip up the legs, hugging your elbows. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, back down. Flip the toes, press up into plank. And back into down dog. In this down dog, we'll work a little more on our form. So try to get the back at 45 degrees here. That's the first order of business. As you notice, my knees are bent here. So if I straighten my knees, my back will round. And we don't want that. So we want the back straight. And depending on how tight the hamstrings are, you're going to have to bend the knees a little bit, and that's all right. Over time, the legs will straighten as you start to release tension in these muscles here. So keep the back straight, and then work the back of the knees towards the back of the room behind you, but don't compromise the straight back. So this is a good upper body workout. It's also a good stretch. Lower back down in the child's pose, knees wide, toes touching, guide the hips back. And we'll look up to see our hands, slide through onto your stomach, and zip up your legs, hugging your elbows. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, back down. Flip the toes, press back up into plank. And back into down dog. And we're gonna look up to see our hands in this down dog. Walk your feet to the top of the mat. We're gonna meet in a forward fold. So in our forward fold, we're trying to release the back and just be really heavy in the arms and the head. So similar philosophy as our down dog here. First, we're trying to just completely release the back and pretty much every muscle above the waist. Bending the knees can help you do that. If I keep my legs straight, then it puts strain on my lower back. Now everybody's going to be a little different, so if you're really flexible here, maybe you can keep your legs straight. It's all good. But try to bring the chest and the stomach into the thighs. And bend the knees as much as you need to, and then try to lift the hips and straighten the legs without engaging any muscles above the waist. So everything above the waist is just kind of like a rag doll. And this is really good on the back here, decompressing the back. Now when we rise up, we want to be really strong in the legs Use these leg muscles, activate the core, look up to straighten your back, hinge at the hips, rise up, reach your arms lively overhead. And then exhale your hands down to heart center. And now we're in mountain pose. So strong legs, strong core in your mountain pose. And we'll take a deep inhale. And exhale. Inhale, arms back overhead. Exhale, fold forward. And back into our forward fold. Plant the hands into the mat. Step back to plank pose. Strong legs, strong core. Lower all the way down. And ground the hips, ground the top of your feet. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, back down. Flip your toes, press up into plank. And back into down dog. Work on your alignment. Try to be really strong in the arms. Stamp the hands firmly into the mat. This is going to help you create this 45-degree angle with your back. And then you're just actively pressing the back of the knees towards the back of the room without rounding the back. We're going to lift our right foot hip height. Kick your right heel straight back. And then we're going to guide this right foot to the top of the mat. You may need to take a few steps. It's all good. Bring the right foot to the top of the mat. Lower the left knee down. Flip your back foot. Hands on your hips for a low lunge. So guide the hips forward and down. Reach your arms overhead. Look up to see your hands. Deep inhale. And exhale. We'll lower the hands back down. Step the right foot back to meet your left foot. Downward facing dog. And then we'll lift the left foot. We'll just switch sides. So guide this left foot to the top of the mat. Lower the right knee down. Hands on your hips. Work the hips forward and down. Low lunge. Reach the arms overhead. So in your low lunge, you want the front knee over the ankle and you're working your hips forward and down. Look up to see your hands. Take a deep inhale. And exhale, hands to the mat. And then we'll step our left foot back to meet our right foot back into another down dog. And from here, we're going to lower onto our knees. Kick your legs out in front. We're going to have a seat on the mat and we're just going to do some stretching here. So try to kick through the heels, point your toes towards the ceiling. Try to get your back straight. Maybe your hands start at the side of your body here. Now this may already be producing a good stretch. This is a good place for a strap. Maybe you put a strap around your feet and just hold this, or maybe pull forward. Or if you'd like to, reach your arms overhead and then exhale, fold forward. Now it doesn't matter how far you can reach, it's more important that you keep your legs straight. So maybe your hands are just by your side. Maybe they're just resting on your knees. Try to relax the chin down to your chest and just allow the top half to just kind of fold in and curl in. We're kind of just allowing gravity to kind of pull the top half of our body towards our legs. Maybe you can walk your hands out further, but again, it really isn't important how far you can reach. It's more important that you're feeling a stretch. And you want to just find your edge and just live there. So maybe find where the stretch is just a little too intense and then back off a little bit, and that's going to be about where your edge is located. And bring your attention more towards your breath. It's going to help you relax. Also, another option, bring your attention to the muscles in the back of your leg and just try to completely feel this stretch and get familiar with this feeling of releasing tension. And then on our next inhale, we're going to rise up or reach arms overhead. Exhale, hands back down to your side. We're going to bend our knees. And we're going to lower down onto the mat. We're going to cross the right ankle over the left knee. So the knees are bent here, and then cross the right ankle over the left knee. Reach behind the back of the left leg. So you're reaching your right hand between your legs, and the left hand comes to the outside of your left leg. Now maybe you come behind in between your calf and your quad, or maybe around the shin. Either way, make sure you can rest your head on a block or the floor. You want your head to be resting. And we're getting a really good stretch here on the right hip. Relax your jaw. And reach lively through the crown of the head, trying to flatten the spine out on the mat. And then we're just going to release the right foot down and just switch sides. So cross the left ankle over the right knee. Reach behind the back of the right leg. So same philosophy here. Try to make sure your head's resting on something. And also try to lengthen by reaching through the crown of your head, lengthening the spine. At the same time, working the right knee towards your towards your chest. Getting a stretch in the left hip. This time the left hand is going to be coming between the legs. The right arm is around the outside of your right leg. And then from here, we'll release out of this pose. Give yourself a full body stretch. Reach lively in both directions. Inhale. And then exhale. Arms down to your sides. And we'll be here in our savasana pose, final pose. And we're just going to be relaxing here for about 4 or 5 minutes. So see if you can work on keeping your attention more with the body and the breath, the sounds of the room, and maybe the sounds of the guitar. We'll go ahead and take a deep inhale and exhale. One more time, deep inhale and exhale. ahead and take a deep inhale. And exhale. We'll start to wiggle our fingers and our toes. And then we'll roll onto our right side. Just relax there a little bit longer. And then on your next inhale, we'll rise up to a seated position to conclude our class. We'll bring our hands to heart center and sit up tall. Take a deep inhale and exhale. And we'll conclude our class with a single Om. You can join in if you like. Inhale. Thank you for practicing some yoga with me today. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Namaste.